Here, I'm going to walk you through the status of my project. You should do the same thing. Check the status of your project before you make your next period decisions. Now, so here in the main status part, I can see obviously that I'm in period 2. I can also see that I have some members onboarding, so they are not available. I hired them in the previous period. They're going to be available in period 3, but that's something to keep in mind when I'm making my decisions about who to hire. And here is an overall rank. I can barely make any sense of that number, so you can ignore it. There is nothing important there. And then what do I have? So now we're going to click on the metrics. So I know the status of my project. So it's telling me that I have completed 1 period. That means, so this is kind of something that I have used 10% of the time that we had in the project. So we had 10 periods, we already completed 1. So we have completed 10% of the duration of time that we have, okay? And here is telling me when is the start date. And then this is a projection that the simulation does in terms of how I performed so far. And it's telling me that based on that, it estimates that I'm going to end the project by this date, and it's going to have a duration of 122 days. Obviously, I need to do some adjustments because we're trying to aim for 100, but this is, again, a projection. In terms of financials, it's showing me what is my total cost so far, how much budget I have remaining, and how much budget I have used so far. So I'm a little bit over 10%. No, I'm fine. No, if we do simply a distribution of the 130,000, how much do I need on each period? If I distribute it equally, that will be 10% per period. That is around 13,000 per period. That should be my budget. So that can fluctuate, but if I have a levels budget, that will be that. And on the other hand, it's telling me the amount of work that has to be completed, and here it's telling me that in the first period I only completed 9% of the work. So there is some differences there. It's like I spent 10%, but I only completed 9%. So if I want to be more efficient, I need to get more work done and spend less, right? And some information about, okay, I have 4 resources. What was the average rate? Now, I think that's nothing else in there. The other thing I can see here is the efficiency of my team. I have 4 members, and it's showing me the actual number of hours that they completed in the previous period. They had 80 hours of work, and now I see that they didn't actually reach that level. No, this first member only worked 48 hours. That's actually the efficiency of that member. So he had 80 hours of time, but he only completed work for 48. So, well, I might have to make some adjustments, performance checks. Is he the right person for the task that I'm assigning to him? Is he efficient? No. Does he have the right skills, the right training, and so forth? I might want to change it or not. I can see also that his hourly rate is lower, so maybe that's just showing that, okay, he's not as trained as other individuals. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, if I go to the task list, now I can see the percentage complete, and I can see here, okay, great. For the requirements, I completed 100% of the kiosk user interface, 100% of the integration toolkit, and almost everything for the kiosk sensor integration. Okay, so I need to assign somebody to that task again to make sure it gets completed. And that one is very important because that is the predecessor for activity 8. So even if I assign somebody to activity 8, that person is not going to be able to work until they finish that one. So I need to keep that in mind when I do make my new decisions. assignment and task integration toolkit. It has as a predecessor of 5, and 5 has been 100% completed, so I can assign somebody to that. So now in my next move, what I'm going to be doing is making sure that somebody completes this task right here. Probably the same person that I assigned to that task, I'll ask that person to continue with this task. I can assign somebody to do this one, and well, I need to actually look at my Gantt chart and figure out, okay, where is the critical path and what else should I do, to make sure I'm making progress. Looking at the project management, okay, I only completed 20% of period 1. I also need to keep an eye on that. So I'll have to be assigning somebody to continue with period 1 project management task, and probably, given that we're already in period 2, probably assign somebody to do that as well. Okay, so it's very important that you pay attention to the status of your project when you make follow-up decisions, because the effectiveness of those decisions will depend on the status of your project. Okay. And now I'm going to come here, and here is where we make our assignments. I need to look at my plan. I'm not going to be doing that right now. Maybe the only thing I probably can do is say, okay, I know that the project management work needs to be completed. So I'm going to put it here. I'll save it, but later on I need to really add information to the rest. And then when I come to the status, I'm going to see here my decisions, and only when I'm 100% sure of my decisions is when I sort of submit and send those orders. Okay. Hope that helps. Feel free to reach out if you need any help or you have any questions.